Hi, and thanks for joining me. I want to speak today about something that's very important to me, very dear to my heart, and that is angels. The most important thing that I'm being urged to do is to be very honest about myself and the things that motivate me. With this channel, Muse Emerging, I am hoping to help people find a deeper level of consciousness and spirituality in their lives. I do believe that we are at a critical point on our evolutionary journey and that we all need to open ourselves up to a higher level of consciousness. Since I was a young child, I had a very close connection to the other realm of angels and guides and the divine realm. I often felt like an outsider, and I always felt like I was living two lives, essentially. I'm trying to speak directly from my heart and also with the guidance of my guides and angels in this video. This, I feel, is what I am being very strongly urged to do. Living in two worlds as I did, I always had the knowing that there was a deeper level that was going on, and my daily lived reality wasn't the place where I felt most at home. I always felt like a bit of an imposter in my conscious daily waking life. I felt like I was putting on a show, like I had to be a certain person, and I had to be a certain way to fit in. I think a lot of people can relate to that, especially people who have a deep level of spirituality. I believe that I was born with the veil between worlds quite transparent, and at times slipping away from my eyes. My first memories from when I was young up until school age, and even after that, my deepest memories, my most important memories to me, were the ones that were lived on a plane of existence that existed beyond the material, accepted reality. On that other plane, I felt loved unconditionally and I felt accepted, and I always was surrounded by a multitude of angels and guides and beings that were of different form and free spirit. There was just pure love and pure acceptance. In my waking daily life, I felt very confused about people and why they did certain things and how they behaved, and I just didn't understand. From a young age, I felt that there was a lot of cruelty and unpleasantness in the world. It seemed very harsh. It was a very unfriendly waking world that I could see. To be honest, I felt angry that I had to be here in this harsh reality. Over time, I came to understand that my path was to be here and I had to accept that. It was a hard lesson to learn, because when you're a small child and you realize that the way that you are is at direct odds with everybody else, and that when you talk about things that other people don't really understand or haven't actually experienced, they don't like that, it can feel quite alienating. So I learned at a very young age that I had to keep a lot of things to myself. It was confusing that I had to keep a whole side of myself secret from the people in my life. And as I got a little bit older, I learned to completely shut it off, along with the awareness of the times that I spent with my angels and guides traveling around and learning, seeing amazing things and experiencing amazing things so that I could conform. As I grew into a young adult, I realized that I couldn't push away that side of myself that was so critically important to me, and I started to come back to it. It's been a lifelong journey back from that point. I started doing my drawings and I started keeping journals. Journaling was a big thing for me. What I found was that journaling helped to free the channeling voice within me. I found that I was able to pick up a pen, and even though I had nothing in my mind, I would just go into the flow. I had a phrase I used to use when starting to write. It seemed to help me get focused. It was water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. That was my sentence. And what it represented for me was the realization that everything was around me. I was in fact surrounded with love. I was surrounded with energy and my beloved angels that were everywhere, abundance everywhere. But in my waking consciousness, I was shutting myself off to that. So that statement eloquently expressed my situation. The statement came to me without even thinking. Things like that happen a lot. Guidance loves to come through in metaphors, very creative and poetic. So what I did was whenever I would go into a journal session, and I wrote in my journal every morning, I would start with water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. And I would just keep writing that statement over and over repetitively until all of a sudden it would all just start flowing. The water tap was on full flow. It was an amazing voice that would speak to me. At first, it spoke about my life and the patterns and the things that were happening related to me and what the future was to hold. It was a great counselor for someone who had cowered behind acceptability, conformity, and mediocrity, feeling that was the way to survive in this world. It told me I was hiding and I would not hide forever. Then the voice would expand onto more, far-reaching topics about the world in general and the things that were changing with humanity and how we had to change to adapt. And it's going to be a difficult change. I have books of journals and a full 60,000 word manuscript where a lot of it is just channeled information that has come through me. The channeled information has helped me to grow spiritually and to become somebody who can shift between the different sides of the veil when I want to in a more balanced way. I started reading a lot, absorbing positive, motivating, spiritually uplifting information, all the classics of my era: Wayne Dyer, Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, Marianne Williamson, Louise Hay, all those and more classic spiritual teachers who have helped us along the way. And I also started drawing, which was always my happy place. When I was a very young child, I remember my mother used to say, "Just give Tanya a pencil and some paper and you won't hear from her for hours." And that was the truth. I was an artist at heart, always have been from the day I was born. So as I got a little bit older, I started doing these drawings, which were quite abstract at first and then started to evolve. And I did them only in black and white. They were always just done in black pen. And they were very healing for me. I felt like when I did my drawings, it released negative emotions and calmed me, gave me peace. It really helped me on a spiritual level to do these drawings. But as with my spiritual side in general, in the era that I was born and that I grew up in, things that were outside the norm were not encouraged. I definitely had a persecution complex, so my pen drawings were placed away in a drawer. And when I was having a down day or when I needed some lifting, I would pull my drawings out and sit with them. And then I might start doing some more drawing. And I came to realize over time that my drawings, as much as my journaling, were being guided and they were channeled too. It was for my healing and for healing in general. I felt that I could transmit healing through my drawings. Just like a distance Reiki healing session, I went on to study Reiki for some time, up to master level, once I started to realize that I could channel energy, hoping that it would help me to build my energetic healing skills, and it did. One of many occasions where my channeled drawing served a purpose occurred with my own family. My parents' dog had passed away. A gorgeous, kind-hearted dog named Charlie. My father in particular was so close to him. So when he passed, my father was beyond himself, devastated. My poor dad, he had a soft heart, and he loved animals just as I do. So when Charlie passed away, he was really struggling with that. I have over the years been quite intuitive and received information and have a particular gift for accessing the veil between life and death. I have had occasions where people who've passed over, and animals in particular who have passed over, have come to me with messages. So one day I was in the shower, and this was after my dad's dog had passed, and all of a sudden I got this message from Charlie saying, "You need to help your dad, he's struggling. I don't want to see him struggling. You know I'm fine, I'm in a better place. Fix it, please fix it." And I remember thinking to myself, my dad was very definitely not a spiritual thinking kind of a guy. So for me to go up to my dad and say, "Hey, Charlie came through to me and he wants you to know he's fine and, you can get on with your life and just be happy. All right? He wants you to be happy." That wasn't going to happen. I think my father would have looked at me like I was crazy, and it just wasn't a suitable solution. A couple of days after that, I pulled my drawings out, and I was just having a look through them. I often did that. I pulled out a pen and I started drawing. It was just without thinking. When I'm doing a drawing, or even when I'm journaling, my brain is really not engaged there. My mind is not engaged. I'm just going with what flows through me. So I was just channeling, just drawing away. I came to the end, got up, went and had myself a coffee, came back and looked at the drawing. I realized that I had done my version of Charlie as an angel in his pure, energetic form. It was very intricate. It shocked me that I had not been focused on doing a spirit portrait of Charlie. It just happened. I could feel his energy coming off the page, and it was just flowing out into the air. And then I was thinking, well, I need to give it to my dad. And there it was, a roadblock, because my dad was not, as previously mentioned, a spiritual person. His idea of art was, unless it's an oil painting, it's really not worth anything. I don't know where he got that from, but anyway, he wasn't into abstract work or anything like that. If I'd done a really nice landscape or a portrait, he'd be thrilled. But my unique and somewhat abstract angel drawing, he wouldn't have related to that. So I never gave it to him. And I remember at the time, I thought, gosh, I failed Charlie. He brought me a message and I failed him. And I felt very bad about that. And when I started to think that way, I heard a channeled message in my mind, a distinct voice. It was one of my guides telling me, no, you didn't. You didn't fail Charlie. You did exactly what was needed. He wanted you to create one of your works because it releases the energy which will find the place that it needs to go to do the healing. And that was such a revelation for me. I don't have to do anything other than just do my drawing from my heart and keep the channel open, and what flows from that is exactly what is meant to be. So I guess the surprising truth about angels is that if you're looking for some pre-Raphaelite or Renaissance-looking figure that's going to come drifting down out of the clouds into your lounge room and sit there with you on the lounge, that quite likely won't happen. Well, it might happen for you. It's never happened for me. My angels are with me all the time. They don't drop down from heaven. They are here now. I see them as pure energy. I see them as color. I see them as pattern. They come through in this vivid array of different forms and colors and swirling patterns, and I can hear them when they are close and when they want my attention. There is a beautiful sweet hum. It's impossible to explain. There is a shift of energy around me. It's palpable, and at times I feel a swirling sensation around me as they soar. All of this happens on a different plane. But I have learned to live in both worlds, so the division between the two worlds often is not so definite. When you think that you're in a room alone, you're never alone. And I don't want you to freak out by that. It's a good thing. But there is a multitude of energy and angels around us in every single moment, wherever we are. If you don't see it, it's because your eyes are not yet open to that realm. That's it. That's the only reason. That realm is as real as this earthly plane that we're in now, probably more real because that's the place that we will return to. This is a temporary abode, so we should not feel afraid of dying, because dying means that we are released back in to the realm of pure energy, and so we become one again. The truth about angels is that they're with you every single moment. They never leave you. You left them. So once you open your heart up again, all you have to do is say, I want you back in my life. I want to be able to experience you. I want to be able to co-create my life with you. And they're there. They will never say no to you. They will never deny you what you truly desire. We're all going to be able to find what the truth is for us. We're all going to find out what our special gifts are and how we can bring those gifts to a world that is so very desperately waiting for them. We all are special, none of us more than the other. Thank you so much for listening to me. I really appreciate you. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you'd give me a like, and if you could subscribe, that would be even better. At Muse Emerging, we are committed to bringing you the type of content that really can change your life. Please leave a comment about any experiences with angels that you have had. The more we spread the word that angels are amongst us now, the more people will awaken to their presence. It's important work. I wish you all a really great day or evening full of love and peace. Thank you.